everyone. Welcome to what I believe is the 20th episode of the Honeybee Knits podcast. My name's Melissa, and I'm coming to you from about 45 minutes north of Cincinnati. Today is Thursday, September 28th. Yeah, that's what day it is. Thursday, September 28th. I'm a little out of sorts because I normally podcast on a Wednesday, but I was super busy yesterday, so I wasn't able to do so. And I was hoping to have this podcast recorded on my lunch hour this morning, but that didn't happen. So, as you can tell from the shadows being cast behind me, my lighting's a little bit off because it is a little bit later in the evening than when I normally podcast. So, but I'm already a day late, so I wanted to get this out to you guys so that you could see what I'm working on. If this is your first episode, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy the podcast. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. You may be wondering what happened with my 24-hour sweater knit along. We'll get to that in a little bit. It was fun, but I'll talk about that later. So, how are you guys? I hope everybody is doing well. It's been a good week. I've been a little bit out of sorts, and it could be because of the 24-hour sweater knit along, just because I was awake during hours I'm not normally awake and asleep during hours I'm not normally asleep. So I think it threw off my rhythm a little bit this week. And then also, so it's just a stressful time in our lives right now. We have some changes that might be coming up. And I'm not going to get into them right now because nothing is certain. In fact, it very well just may be us being paranoid. So, if something does come of it, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But for now, I will be coming to you from my regular spot here in Ohio, and hopefully on my normal recording days. I try to podcast as regularly as possible, but I know the last couple weeks have been really, all over the place. So I'm hoping to do at least weekly, so that's why I'm coming to you on a Thursday rather than a Wednesday. Since I couldn't do it on Wednesday, I wanted to get it to you this week. So anyway, I'm wearing my So Faded sweater today. I knit this in the spring, and I was never really happy with how the colors faded. It is out of Lolo Did It yarn. I think I remember them all. Yeah. So the gray is Coal Miner's Daughter. This is Breakfast Club. This is PYT. And then this is Summer Nights. So I feel like I have a good 90s, 80s, 90s theme going on with my sweater. But I wasn't exactly happy with how the colors faded. Although they all complement each other well, I feel like they were just a little too busy to go together. But this is the first sweater I ever knit, and I'm super proud of it. So I wear it all the time when it's cold. The summer has been super hot, so I haven't worn it that often, but we had the first sign of fall today, so temperatures dipped below 70. So I was like, I don't care if I sweat all day. I'm wearing my leggings and my socks and my sweater. So that's what I'm doing today. So anyway, I really love it. Like I said, it's Lolo Did It yarn. I'm really happy with it. There is a bit of pilling in the sleeves. There's an end poking out here that I need to fix. But other than that, I'm really happy with it. I have another kit from Hue Loco that is more of a, I want to say planned fade, because this wasn't really planned. The pattern came out and I said, I've been wanting to, sorry about that guys, I just got a message from my husband about some of the changes that I was talking about earlier. So it's really important that I'm in really good communication with him today and tomorrow, just because of everything going on. But anyway, so I am recording on my phone this week instead of my husband's iPad, because last week I think it was going around for podcasters. Levi had problems, and I feel like somebody else said they had problems as well. Sorry again, text messaging my husband. I'm sorry if the camera moves too much during filming this week, guys. Like I said, I think it was going around with podcasters and editing last week because we all had a rough go. So my personal experience was that my husband's iPad was empty, as in I had plenty of room to record my normal podcast as usual, so I did, and then I edited it, which I want to talk about iMovie. Everybody raves about my iMovie and how much they love it, and I'm wondering if the people that rave about it actually have an Apple computer that they edit on, because I do not. I have Microsoft computers and Apple phone and iPads, tablets. And sorry for the shaking. Last week, I know I'm getting off on a tangent. I promise I'll get back on track. But last week, I recorded on my husband's iPad. It had plenty of space. And the way iMovie works for me, and maybe I'm using it incorrectly, and that's why I'm having these issues. But the way it works is you record using your video camera, and you upload the video into iMovie, and then you edit your podcast. And then when you're done editing, you go to save it, but you have to, I don't know if it's called download export. So you have to export the movie from iMovie onto the actual iPad, which does not make sense to me at all. To me, iMovie's on the iPad. It's not a cloud, so I don't understand why. I feel like I'm triple saving a video. So, for example, you have the original video in your movies or your photos, videos, storage space. You have the edited version on iMovie, and then you have to export a third version from iMovie into your videos and photos folder. So by the time you're said and done, you're taking up space for 3 videos. So if you have a 2-hour-long video, that takes up a lot of space on the iPad. So, of course, once I am done exporting from iMovie onto the iPad, I upload the movie from the iPad onto my desktop computer, which is a Microsoft computer. It's a Sony. And then I upload it to YouTube that way. I know there is an option in iMovie to upload videos to YouTube, but I'm a verified YouTube channel. So I have the ability to upload videos remotely that are longer than 15 minutes long. However, when I attempt to do this on the iPad, it says that I do not have that access. So I'm not exactly sure why I cannot upload directly from iMovie into YouTube. It always comes up and says you are not authorized to upload a video longer than 15 minutes or something along those lines. So anyway, all that to say that last week I should have had plenty of room, but for some reason I didn't. It was saying that there was something stored on the cloud and on the iPad that was taking up all the storage, and my husband looked and deleted everything off there, and it was still saying we didn't have enough space. So I have no idea what was going on with it. There's some file out there somewhere that is taking up all the space, and we can't figure out what it is to get rid of it. So I was able to airdrop the video from last week onto my iPhone from his iPad. But I couldn't airdrop the edited version because that version had not been saved to his phone yet, and you can't airdrop straight from iMovie. So I had to airdrop the unedited version, which meant that I had to go back in the next day and edit again on my phone. So although I had the recording and editing done last Wednesday, you guys didn't get to see it until Thursday night into Friday because I had to redo everything. So welcome to podcasting. For those of you that have just begun podcasting or are thinking about podcasting, this is just some of the frustrating things a podcaster gets to learn about and deal with. My husband and I will eventually get a Mac, so this issue will be non-existent because the video will be shared from device to device. So hopefully we get that sometime around Christmas or after or right after, because Lord knows that we need, I would like to actually record straight from the Mac rather than on the iPhone or the iPad anyway. So this room that I podcast in is actually, I know I'm going off on like a 15-minute tangent, so if you would like to skip past this to the knitting, feel free. I just want to share with you guys. So anyway, so this room that I'm in right now is actually our loft area. And to the right of me, there is, so you see all the yarny goodness behind me. I have my beautiful shelf up here. I have my other shelf down here. And then you can kind of see the couch off to the side. On this side of me, there's a TV and an entertainment stand, and it has 3 different video game systems along with a ton of video games, as well as video game devices. I don't know if anybody plays Skylanders, but or has kids that play Skylanders. I mentioned before, my niece and nephew are at my house quite often, and this is their video game room, basically. So this is where they come when they want, if Jason and I are watching TV downstairs. My nephew has a TV in his room. My niece does not, because originally when we moved into the house, they had bunk beds in the one room and we had the other room as a guest bedroom. But as they got older, we realized the need for them to have separate bedrooms. And so we moved my niece into the guest bedroom. It's still got a full bed, a queen bed, so that if we have guests, they can lay in it, but she's kind of personalized it to herself. And we have the TV for her room, but we just haven't put it up. So, when my nephew is watching cartoons or playing a video game in his room, and my husband and I are downstairs watching TV, then Kira has nowhere to go to. My niece doesn't have anywhere to go to watch or play her video games or her TV, so she comes in the loft and watches TV in here. We watch like Game of Thrones up here because the TV's closer and we can make it darker up here than we can downstairs and things like that. But anyway, so although it's my room, it's not set up to be my room. So the goal is to put Kira's TV up in her room and move this TV and entertainment stand to the basement along with this couch until my husband can pick out furniture for his area down there by himself. And we're going to move my desk because right now everything's spread out across my house. In my nephew's room, I have my cutting board because that's the only area in my house where I really have space for that. So I have my cutting board. That's where I cut and iron all my fabrics for my bags. And then in the loft, I have my knitting stuff, and then downstairs in my front room, I have my work desk where I work from home a lot. So that's where I work when I'm at home, and also where I do all my shipping for my packaging and shipping for Ravelry or for Etsy orders. And then in my kitchen, I have all my dye stuff, and I have a cabinet cleaned out that has all my dye stuff and my yarn and everything in there. So my stuff is all over the house, and it's kind of getting ridiculous. And then in the living room downstairs, I have my spinning wheel and about twice the amount of fiber as you see here. So I have a lot of fiber and spinning wheel downstairs. Of course, all the projects that I'm currently working on are down on the back of the couch downstairs. So all that to say, I kind of exploded all over the house, and my goal is to set up Kira's room so that it's her personal oasis. She can go in there. She's a teenager. She just turned 13 in June, so she needs her own space. And then I want to move this stuff to the basement, and I want to bring all my stuff except for my dye stuff because I have to do that downstairs because it's more ventilated down there. So bring all my stuff up here and set this up as an office workspace area so I can do all the packaging of my orders, I can do my day job, and I can do my fun little live videos and everything from up here, and have an actual room to myself, my cutting board, everything in here, so that way I can be more organized. I don't know why I got into that. That's one of my goals this winter. I feel like it's a really good winter goal to have because you can't do a whole lot on the outside of the house. So I think organizing the inside would be perfect. And it's also going to be a perfect time for us to paint. Because we've been here for about 5 years, so it's about time for a paint job. So if you were not here for all of that and you were here for the knitting, let's jump into that. I apologize for my rant. So I have 2 finished objects to show, one of which you guys have seen before, but I finally blocked it and woven the ends. And guys, I'm really, really disappointed. I'll tell you why. So this is my Doodler. So it is finally blocked and the ends are woven in, and smells really good. It's gorgeous. I love it. I love the colors together. I think I won this kit, or I purchased it. I don't know. But it's hedgehog fibers in the sock, and their sock base, which is 90% merino and 90% wool, 10% nylon. So there's not a lot of nylon content in this, and it is a 4-ply, but their yarn is really loosely spun. So the first complaint I have about hedgehog sock, and I will not, more than likely, I will not buy their sock base anymore. I will buy their twist sock, their single, and their, well, I've never tried their DK, but I have a skein of DK and it looks fine, so. But anyway, the reason because is I think that it's not spun. It's too loosely plied, and it keeps snagging. So I've had so many snags in this that I've had to go back and tack down, and it's just random snagging. So, and it was very, very splitty when I was working with it. Complaint number 2, I really should have washed this yarn before I used it. Originally I wasn't going to soak it because I thought with this dark color next to that cream, there's going to be a lot of bleeding. And so I was going to steam it, but I never got around to getting a steamer, and it was its turn to get blocked. And so I was like, just dunk it for a few minutes. People told me if I used color catchers, it would be fine. No. I put 4 color catchers in there. I had it in there for less than 5 minutes. I stepped away. It was Mabon, and I was making a pie. So I stepped away to do something with that, and I came back, and I don't know if you guys can tell because my lighting is horrid today, but it bled like a mother. I mean, this is just, it's pink, and it's pink everywhere. The cream is no longer cream. It's like a lightish pinkish purple color. I am so disappointed in hedgehog. I'm disappointed because hedgehog is a luxury fiber. They charge practically $40 a skein. So in my opinion, if I'm buying yarn for $40, I don't care how dark the color is, it better not bleed. And if it is, it shouldn't have bled like it did. I know there's a lot of hedgehog fiber lovers out there. I'm one of them. I do love their, I mean, look at this variegated color. Like, I've never seen a color knit up that way. It's gorgeous. However, as much as I love their dye technique, this should never happen in a $40 skein of yarn. Period. It shouldn't. This is a very expensive shawl, and regardless of whether I won the kit or paid for it, it's just disappointing. It really is. I don't think anybody else, I think only I notice it. So it's not that big of a deal. This will probably stay my shawl because this is very me. So anyway, little disappointed. Overall though, I think it's a gorgeous pattern, gorgeous shawl. This is my second one. This is the first one I knit, but my mom knit one, and I stole it from her. I was in so much love with the yarn she used. I think she used Biscotti and Try, and she used Neapolitan colors, like Neapolitan ice cream. Oh my god, so pretty. I think I've showed it before, or I'll have to show it sometime in the future because it is gorgeous, and I stole it from her. And so I knit this one. Yeah, I love it. I think it's beautiful. but I already said my piece about what I don't like about it. So, this would have made a really great Christmas gift this year, guys. And had it not bled, it would have been. And I think that's what makes me sad about it. This shawl doesn't wear well on me. It's not a very practical shawl for my body shape. I have a very thick neck, so I don't know if you can. So it just doesn't lay right on me. I don't know. It's pretty, but maybe if I had like a shawl pin and I like draped it, I think maybe I would have to drape it. And the one my mom made me, the way her yarn blocked out, it blocked out much wider, so it fits me a lot better. So anyway, I'm sorry. I am a hot mess today. I keep messing everything up. So anyway, that is I have a snag stitch. That is my first finished object. So my next finished object is my September Desert Vista dye work socks. Can you guys see the sparkle? I love these so much. As much as I love knitting her zombie colorways, her regular colorways have my heart. 100%. I counted today, and I think I have, after this year, I have 13 more skeins of Desert Vista dye work, so I have at least another year. And depending on how it goes next year, I may order 9 more skeins. And when I do, I think I'm going to stop buying the zombie colorways and start buying her regular colorways. I feel like I got so enamored by the zombie colorways that I didn't give her regular colorways enough of a chance. So, I don't know what's going on. So, I think what happened, at first I thought it was because the skein was dyed unevenly. But, do you guys see what I'm talking about? That was not on purpose. My 24-hour sweater challenge, which I'll talk about, it loosened up my gauge a ton. And that's, originally I was talking to Levi and I told him I thought that the skein was dyed unevenly, but I'm almost positive my gauge was looser because when I counted, when I measured and counted, my gauge was looser. I finished this sock prior, and you can even kind of tell this is really baggy compared to this is more fit. I mean, this is stretchy, but it's more fitted to the sock blocker than this one. So this one I finished prior to doing the 24-hour challenge, and then this one I did a few days after. And as you can see, the first place that it started to get off, you could tell it was off, is right before the heel. So over here, I finished the gray. I think I had one row of gray left before I hit the heel, so it was like right in the middle of the gray section. Whereas over here, I had already started a row of the pink. So that, and mixed with the fact that I cut the yarn, when I do a fish lips kiss heel and I do a contrasting heel, I cut the main color yarn. Otherwise, when you pick the yarn back up, it'll be on the wrong side. So I cut it, which means that there was about this much left on either end for a tail, which shortens the size of the stripe itself by about a row. So those two mixed together caused this to be about one color repeat off, which is about four rows, depending on which color, because the pink and the white are whiter than the gray and the black. But I don't know. I wish they would have matched, but I am kind of digging this. I like the opposite toes. I have thought about, since I'm having such a problem with getting these toes lined up to match, even with the contrasting heels, I thought of two things. One, doing contrasting heels and toes, which I really don't want to do. I don't want to do contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs on these because I feel like it takes away from the self-striping yarn. I feel like that's kind of the purpose of self-striping yarn. But the other thing I thought about was knitting one sock from the inside and one from the outside, which would make them striped opposite of each other. So they would be completely a match, because I don't mind mismatched socks, but I don't like it when they're just barely mismatched. So other than that, I've gotten a lot of comments on this colorway. I love it. It's called Poodle Skirt from Desert Vista Dye Works, and it is on her Zen base, which is her sparkle base. And then this, I think, is called Kestrel by Knit Picks Stroll Glimmer. So it's also sparkly. So yes, I was talking to Lorianne from Arkansas Yarn Company on the phone the other day, and she said that one of her friends was making fun of her for creating sock kits that were all in sparkle, because she said nobody would want sparkle socks with sparkle heels, cuffs, and toes. And I told her, well, you can tell your friend that I do. Because I will knit sparkle anything and everything, and I like sparkle on my feet. The thing about it is I don't wear hand knit socks out and about very often. I normally just wear them at home. So if I'm at home, I don't have shoes on, and I am wearing socks not only for the comfort of making my feet warm, but also for the fact that I like to look at them and they're pretty. So there is that. I have 2 whips to show you guys. And I'm going to show you my Cozy Memories blanket first, because I've been working on that one a little bit. So last time I showed this to you, I had just pulled it out, and I did, I think, 8 new squares, because I hadn't worked on it in a while. And I knit on it until Thursday evening, and then Friday was Mabon, so I had to work, I was off on Friday, so we were preparing for our Mabon feast. And I swatched for my 24-hour sweater that I started on Saturday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was focusing on the sweater. Monday, I was focusing on the socks, and I picked it back up on Tuesday. But I wanted to make up for the squares that I missed, because I mentioned last time I went 365 squares on this blanket by the end of the year, and I was only at like 100, and as of last night I'm at 153. So the last time you saw it, I think I had just finished, I think I had 1 or 2 colors left for my Ho-He knit along colors. I added 2 squares for the socks I made my stepdad for Father's Day. This is West Yorkshire Spinners Yarn in their Blue Tick colorway. I've added, it's sparkly, but you can't tell. This is, I made my Changing Staircases shawl out of this one, and it is Twist Fiber Studio in the Soul Surfer colorway. I don't remember what base. And then I have Desert Vista Dye Works, and this is her Color Accents Cherry colorway, which, by the way, if you'll remember from one of my earlier episodes, when I was working on this before, I had received that skein in a mini swap, and I loved it. So I immediately messaged Susan, and I said, what colorway is this? And she said, I think it's Color Accents Cherry, and I purchased it, and I knit a skein of a pair of socks out of it. So it goes in over here, because as I stated earlier, this side is all yarns I've used in projects I've knit. So this now gets to add a second square in my blanket on the side that I've knitted out of. So then this square is a little weird. So a couple months ago, I knit my mom and her friend, my godmother Linda, a pair of socks. My mom had purchased the yarn. It was Crazy Zauberball. I don't remember the name, but it's the purple. It goes like a couple different colors of purple. It had black in there. So I had like the teensiest bit of ball of it left, because I had knit 2 pairs of shorty socks, one for my mom and one for Linda. So it didn't have any of the purple left in the ball, which is a shame, but it had some black and gray. I don't know if you can tell, it kind of transitioned to gray right here. So I put that in there, and then my default for when I run out of yarn is Lolo Did It Coal Miner's Daughter, because I have a great gray theme going on with this blanket. So anytime I have a short skein, I normally will throw in some of my coal miner's daughter from Lolo Did It, for example, which I knit coal miner's daughter in my faded sweater. Here are the colors I did for my So Faded sweater right here. And as you can tell, two of the colorways I used, so there's two colorways in this arm. I'll have to remember what the other one is. I know one is Breakfast Club. I can't remember what the other one is. But anyway, so I threw Coal Miner's Daughter in both of those because they were short skeins. So that's what I did here. And then I have my Desert Vista Dye Works socks for August, which were the Zombody's Eating Cotton Candy colorway. And I chose that because it was like festival season, and whenever I think of festivals, I think of cotton candy. Then I have Berry Colorful Yearnings custom dyed this for me. I made my husband 2 pairs of shorty socks, which he wore like the first couple times. He wore like the first pair for like a week straight, so I knit him a second pair, and he hasn't worn them since. But I'm crazy, and I'm going to knit him a sweater anyway. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So, Berry Colorful Yearnings in the Seahawks colorway. She custom dyed this one for me. And then this is Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the paper colorway, and it is the first of the 3 colorways I used for my color craving shawl, which is next up for blocking, so you guys might see that again next week. So that's where I ended. So I have a lot of catching up to do. I think I have to add another 10 or 11 squares to be caught up to today's date. I'm doing 2 squares per day until I get caught up to whatever day today is. I think it's day 271. So I'm at 153 and I need to get caught up to 271, and by the time I want to have 365 by the end of the year. So I've been working on that like crazy. I'll be right back. Another camera angle change, huh guys? Which must mean I had to take another break. This is never going to happen today. So, my next whip, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I have worked my pretty little fingers to the bone this past week. So, I issued myself a challenge inspired by Brooke Knits. Hi, Brooke. If you haven't checked out Brooke's podcast, definitely go take a look. She doesn't have that many episodes, and most of them are pretty short, but she shows some amazing projects. So, definitely go check her out. She's Brooke Knits on Instagram and Ravelry, or Instagram and YouTube. So, inspired by Brooke Knits, she attempted to knit a sweater in 24 hours for charity. I attempted to knit a sweater in 24 hours just to see if I could do it. I didn't do it. It was a huge fail. So I started knitting at 10:30 a.m. last Saturday. I didn't finish knitting that day, I didn't finish knitting until 3:30 a.m. on Sunday. So I knit from 10:30 a.m. Saturday to 3:30 a.m. Sunday. I took a few, probably about 3 or 4, 15, 20-minute breaks. Every hour I would get up and stretch and move around, but then I'd sit right back down and get back at it. So I documented the whole thing on Instagram. Oh, the next day I woke up at 6:30 in the morning. I knit to 7:30, and then I was like, I need sleep. So I slept from like 7:30 to 11:30, and then I got up and I knit for a little bit, I took a nap, and then I knit for a little bit, and then I took a nap, and then I knit for a little bit. So needless to say, it was not a weekend sweater either. Had I chosen a different pattern, it would have been done. So let me show you how much I got done. So I got about, and I haven't touched it since Sunday night. I've been focusing on my Desert Vista Dye Works socks and my Cozy Memories blanket. So I got about 7.5 inches. I don't know if you can see where I split from the sleeves. I got about 7.5 inches done on the body out of about 15.5. So it comes down to right, I would say about that far above my belly button right now. So I've still got quite a ways to go. But this color work, guys, And I have checked, I've tried it on, and right now it looks like the color work is puckering, but it's actually not. It's just the yarn is not relaxed. It's very tensed up from where I was knitting in it, so when I block it, it'll unpucker. If you can see, I kind of stretch it out there, and it's perfect. So this color work took me 12 hours. I honestly, okay, so my thought was, I'm going to issue a 24-hour sweater challenge to myself. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to take it slow on the color work, make sure my floats are perfect so I don't have any puckering. And I'll probably have this sweater done in 14, 15 hours. I'll have it done and still be able to sleep for another 6 or 7 hours. The color work section took me 12 hours. And I'm talking, there was maybe a 20-minute break to eat some food, but other than that, straight knitting. Guys, this is ridiculous. It had been a while since I'd done color work, so for some reason I was thinking it was a lot simpler than, and I picked this pattern because I thought the color work would be simple because it's very simple color work, but the problem is that you like knit 2, then knit 3, then knit 2, then knit 3 all the way around, and then the next row you're knit 2 and then knit 5 or something like that. So there's a lot of switching back and forth. My hands were cramping. Let me show you guys the floats because I'm super proud of these. My floats are amazing, if I do say so myself. So there you go. There's the beginnings of a sweater. Hopefully this will be done by the next podcast. No promises though, because actually it most likely won't be done because I'm behind on What the Fade, which I'll talk about in a little bit. I'm not going to show it because I haven't done anything on it. I finished up to clue 3. Clue 4 was released last week. There's supposed to be 6 clues, and originally, I'm just going to talk about it now. Originally, the 5th clue was supposed to be released next week, not this week. She was going to take a break because the Stephen West knit along is starting tomorrow. Then last week she messaged everybody and said, oh, clue 5 is coming out this week and clue 6 next week. And then last night comes and she releases clue 5 and 6. Which 6 is optional. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet. It seems pretty easy. So hopefully that won't take me long. But I'm really frustrated with that shawl. It spent a lot of money. Again, it's Hedgehog. I spent a lot of money on the yarn, and it's nothing like what I thought it would be. I don't know that I'm going to be doing her Mystery Knit-alongs in the future until after the clues come out. I was so impressed with Find Your Fade and So Faded, and which none of these were Mystery Knit-alongs, so I should have probably have known better. And then Free Your Fade. I love those patterns. I'm not a fan of this one. Not at all. So, Levi, I am podcasting. Stop messaging me about your bags. I'm just kidding. You can message me all you want. I'll test all of your products. I don't mind. So anyway, sweater, 24 hours, fail. Sweater, weekend, fail. Sweater, before podcasting, fail. Fail all around. However, if I had knit something simple like a flax sweater, would have been done, no problem. If I had been smaller, would have been done, no problem. I was knitting the third largest size, or the third to the largest size. So there was only 2 sizes larger than the one I was knitting. Because I went up a size, because of the color work, and also I want to be able, the wool can be a bit scratchy. Oh, I haven't talked about the yarn. The yarn could be a bit scratchy, so I wanted to be able to wear something underneath of it. I used Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. I showed all the colorways last week, so if you want to take a look, you can go take a look. Obviously, this is black and this is white. I know this one is Fjord, because somebody schooled me in how to say that on Instagram. And then the other, excuse me, the other 3 colors are heathered colors. I don't remember what they are, but you can take a look on Instagram. So, I'm really happy with the sweater, but I want it done, and I want it done yesterday. So the pattern says that for the size I'm knitting, and I guess I should have measured my length, what I didn't realize is that just because you pick a size to go around doesn't mean that you have to follow those instructions for all the way through the pattern. And I think that's what I missed on my So Faded sweater, because as you can tell, my sleeves are a bit long for my So Faded sweater, which I like. I like that. I like long sleeves, so I'm okay with that. Had I had realized it, but it was my first sweater, I would have started decreasing sooner to get a little bit of a shorter sleeve. But I'm okay with the sleeve length. But anyway, that happened again on the yoke. So it says once you finish the color work, you want to knit, I think it was like 10 or 10 and a half inches from the cast on edge before you split for sleeves. So I did that. The problem is that, and I would be able to show this better if I had tried it on. When I tried it on after I split for the sleeves, this was much too large. So I'm going to have a bit of a bag around my arm, which is fine. I'd rather it, with it being color work, I'd rather it be a little bit looser rather than tighter, because I don't want it to bunch up on my shoulders. But I'm going to have to decrease fairly soon after casting on the sleeves to make it more fitted. Like, I'm okay with it being loose from here to here, but then I want it to be fitted from here down. So I'll have to do some measurements and calculations to figure that out when I get to the sleeves. But anyway, so I could have stopped knitting this way because I felt like, okay, once I get past the color work, it'll be another hour, hour and a half, and I'll be ready to split for sleeves. 4 hours later, I still hadn't split for sleeves. So that's when I decided to go to bed. And then I picked it up the next day, finished, split for the sleeves, and then knit the rest of the body on Sunday. So I'm using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted. At first when I tried it on, it didn't feel scratchy at all. And it's a fantastic yarn to work with. But I have a feeling that I can feel how it will start to feel a little bit scratchy and itchy when I wear it. So I'm glad I went up a size, because that ensures that I can wear like a small cami or t-shirt underneath to keep it from being too uncomfortable. But it's a fantastic yarn. I'm very, very impressed with how soft it is. It's super warm, so I hope we have a really cold winter because I want to be able to wear it. And really happy with it. So I'm using my Knitter's Pride Melodies, which are similar to the Knit Pro Zings. You guys, I just ordered a set of Chiaogu red lace twists interchangeables. I got a really good deal on them too. I'm not going to tell you how I got the deal because I don't know. She wants everybody to know about it, but basically a friend has she has a wholesale license, and she gets them for cheaper than you can even get them on like Amazon, which is crazy because Amazon is like the cheapest place to get anything. So I'm really, really excited. I basically got the whole set for the price you would pay for just like the small set or the large set, because you know how they break them up. They start at like, I think US 2 and go through 15, and I think they have like 2 through 8 and then 9 through 15. I got 2 through 15 for the same price I would have got 2 through 8. So I'm really, really, really excited. It'll be a couple weeks though, because she's going on vacation and they've got to be shipped to her, and then she's got to ship them to me. So it'll be a few weeks before I get them, but I'm really excited to get them because Chiaogus are one of my favorite needles. So anyway, red lace interchangeables. No. Knitter's Pride Melodies. These are my favorite set that I have right now that I can actually use. I talked about my Ferraris, which I absolutely love, but I need to order more cables for those so that I can use it on more projects, and I don't know what's stopping me. I just need to do it. I just keep forgetting. So I'm really, really, really happy with how that's turned out, and I just want to thank everybody who knit along with me. There were a couple of people knitting baby sweaters and hats and chatting with me on Instagram and messaging me to keep me awake and encouraging me to not stop and keep going, which I stopped. I did. I'm going to finish the sweater, obviously, but I just didn't get it done in the time I said I would. Even if I would have kept knitting, it would have barely have been done within probably 48 hours. So, yeah. So before I go into acquisitions, I want to show you guys, and the only reason I'm doing this before my acquisitions is because it's right here next to me on top of the pile. So it's a lot easier to just pull those out and show. So I wanted to show you guys, I talked about some yarn I have in my shop as dyed to orders, and I do have a few ready to ship. Most of them are already accounted for. The problem is that the ones I have ready to ship, they have also ordered yarn that isn't ready to ship, so I'm going to be dyeing up everything this weekend, and if you have ordered something for me, either it went out this morning or it'll go out probably Monday and Tuesday. So if you got a shipping notification this morning, then it's outside of my mailbox waiting on my mailman. If you have not received a shipping notification from me, then you will get one probably Monday or Tuesday of next week, depending on the weather this weekend. Hopefully it doesn't get too cold and I can dry my yarn outside and it'll dry super quick. But these are all still available in my shop right now as dyed to orders. I'm dyeing this weekend, so if you want to skein, go now. And I will give you a hint. There are 3 podcasters that have 10% off coupon codes for me. One of them has already announced it on his Instagram page. So go I bet you know who I'm talking about, so go check out his Instagram page to get the coupon code. And then 2 of them, one is a mother-daughter duo, hint hint, that I talk about all the time and will be podcasting on October 1st, so you guys will get that coupon code from her. And the other is a lovely, lovely lady from Down Under, hint hint, who has a newer podcast that I rave about all the time, and she needs to come out with a new episode because I check every single day and there's not another episode. You know who you are. So anyway, so those 3 podcasters have coupon codes for me. I will be sending out probably more than that. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But I wanted to show you what's available. So this is, my lighting sucks so bad. This is What Killer Bee, and I'm showing it on 2 different bases so you can see how it dyes up differently on the different bases. I try to keep it as consistent as possible, but when you throw different bases in the mix, it's pretty much impossible. So this is What Killer Bee. This is the first colorway I dyed for the kits I did with Levi. I did 2 bee bags and the squirrel bag. So if you've seen this podcast, you know what I'm talking about. So this is on my Queen Bee base, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's fantastic for shawls. It's great, great, great for socks. But I would say that this is a better shawl yarn. And I will be bringing back my sock base, which is a 75-25. It's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. I'm going to put dyed to orders for those up in the shop this week. And I'm going to order yarn this week for it too. So those will be dyed up next weekend. But look at, it's got pops of red, and the red kind of broke a little bit, so there's a little bit of orange in there, which I really like. It's a light pink base with some gray splotches and some hot pink and red speckles. So I really love how this turned out. So that's Queen Bee. And then this is the sparkle base, which is a oh, I love sparkle so much. I really need to dye this up for myself. I really do. So this is a 75% superwash merino nylon, or 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. And oh my god, it's so pretty. Go check those out. And then I've got, I'll save my favorite for last. So I've got the squirrel. Oh my god, guys, this was so fun to dye up. Levi gave me a lot of direction on this one, and he actually requested that I use a different dye style than I've never used that dye style before. Oh my god, I'm gonna use it all the freaking time now. I love, 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 love how this turned out. It is fantastic. So it's got the beautiful pops of like this like mustardy yellow color, which I was so excited about this color, guys, because I don't have dye in this color. So it was my first time mixing dyes to get a color, and it was stressful, but at the same time super fun to get to play around with the colors. So I had a blast with that. And then, so it's got the mustardy colors, it's got splotches of gray, and again, with the hot pink speckles, because you know me, most of my yarns have to have hot pink in them, or purple or something. So again, the top one is the Queen Bee base, and the bottom one is the sparkle base. Oh my god, guys. I love this yarn. I'm going to have to dye all these up for myself too this weekend because I'm ridiculously in love. And then my next one is my favorite. This is so not me. This is not my style, but I love this so much. This is called Victorian Queen Bee. Oh my god. So pretty. So pretty. And I think I don't even know what to say about this one. So it's got light pink and navy and that goldish mustardy yellow color, and it's got black speckles, and I am in love. Of course, it's got some natural. This one has some natural as well, which was done on purpose. Oh my god, I love it. If you have ordered this colorway from me, or any of these three, be prepared to be like, I really just want to keep them all. I feel like every single one I've dyed up so far, I want to keep for myself. I don't care if I have 10 of the same colorway. Damn it, I want it. And I need a sweater out of all three of these. Oh my goodness, guys, this is fantastic. Oh, and by the way, I have not dyed any of these colorways up on DK yet, but I do offer a DK base. And I will be dyeing up some DK this weekend, so I'll take pictures to show you if you're interested in that. So we have the sparkle on top and the Queen Bee on the bottom. My favorite. I love this so much. So then I have a few, well, I still have, and I don't remember if I don't think I've ever showed this on my podcast. It's been shown on Levi's, and I have one available ready to ship right now in sparkle base, which I might keep this for myself. Get it together, Levi. You have to sing when you're talking about Levi. This colorway, guys, I love it so much. I think this one's meant to be mine because it's the only one I had left over from the last batch of Get It Together Levi I dyed up, and it's sparkle. Look at that sparkle, guys. Oh, I love this so much. And if you want to see how it knits up, Levi's actually designing a sock, and he showed it a few times on his podcast and Instagram, so you can go check that out. This is a hot seller. I've made quite a few of these, and I have quite a few, again, to make this weekend. So if you are interested, make sure you go put your orders in so I can get those dyed up and out next week for you. So there's that. And then I have two new colorways that I'm going to be adding to the shop. These aren't in there right now. This is called Lavender Dreams. And the bottom one is Queen Bee. The top one is Sparkle. And it's really blowing out. It looks, I think back here is what it looks, gives it more accurate colors. But it's a very tonal, light purple. And yeah, it's not showing. I mean, it's pretty true to color for the most part, but I think the best representation is back here. I love it so much. This is a great color to go with quite a few of my colorways. Not the three I just showed, but like Pink Me Over and Unicorn Rainbow, and this will tone down some of those brighter colors. So that is Lavender Dreams. And then this one, I love this because I'm a gray girl. It's just a tonal gray, and it's called Hi Ho Silver. So this will be in my shop. I don't have any sparkle dyed up on this. I have two Queen Bee. So those will go in my shop. And it's just, again, it's just a really beautiful tonal color. And it's the same gray I used for Get It Together Levi. So you can make a gorgeous shawl out of these two. My God. Okay. So that's enough shop talk. If you want to, I have messaged, commented quite a few times to people that ask me where they can find my shop. If you go to honeybeenknitsco.etsy.com, you'll be able, if you just type that into your web browser, it'll pop up for you. Otherwise, you can check out my link on Instagram. It'll take you directly there. Yeah, so I'd love it if you guys would check out my shop and let me know what you think. If there's any colorways or colors you think I'm missing, I plan on doing a few holiday colorways, not too many, but I will dye up maybe 2 or 3 different ones, just to get in the festive spirit for Christmas. So look forward to that. Guys, I got new tags too. I'm gonna finish up using these. I think I have 7 of these left, because right now I handwrite the colorway, the fiber content, and the yardage and the grams on every skein. And I got ball bands so that I could print out labels and wrap them around the skein, so it'll save me some time. My husband likes these better. So some of the yarn I dye up this weekend will actually have the ball bands. So I am going to show both on Instagram and let you guys vote, and you guys let me know which you prefer. So I am going to obviously use all the ball bands that I purchased. I think I purchased 50 of them to try them out. And after that, when I reorder, I will take whichever one you guys like better and order that, whether you like the ball bands or the tags better. Sewing. I have 1 bag left in my shop right now, and I have done no sewing. I love sewing. I want to get back to sewing, but I've been having so much fun dyeing. All my extra time has been going into that. And I do plan on getting back to sewing. However, I have an older sewing machine and it needs serviced. I've been putting it off because my husband asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I said I wanted a new sewing machine. So I've been holding off because I've been waiting. I don't know if I'm either going to pay the $100 or $150 to have my sewing machine serviced, or just wait to get a new sewing machine, because I think the sewing machine I want is between $250 and $300. Because I don't want a fancy machine. I just want a basic machine. I just wanted an updated version. So we'll see. I'll probably just wait. I don't know. But I've been missing sewing bags. We'll see. Whatever. If the mood hits me, I will have my sewing machine service and make some more bags. So moving on to acquisitions. So before I get into what I purchased, I received a lovely package from Linda, which, for those of you that don't watch Knit for Brains, she's also known as Aunt Linda to Alicia, and she's Laura's sister. So I put a post, and I mailed it out today, so I don't have one to show, but I put a post on Instagram, and actually I mentioned this quite a while ago, which is why Linda originally sent me this package, and I had forgotten that I had requested this. So when she sent me a picture, and she's like, I need your address because I'm sending this to you, I was like, oh yeah, I need to put that out there. So I want to collect these, you know, these You Are Here mugs from Starbucks? They are my favorite. They're huge. They're gorgeous. And I want to collect them from every state that has them, or country, or whatever. Not necessarily every place, but I want to get them from all my close friends on Instagram. I think it's so awesome to do mug swaps, and so I'm really into it. And they're really actually pretty affordable. So she sent me a wonderful package from North Carolina, and I just mailed hers out today. So Linda, you should be receiving that soon. I sent her an Ohio one. So I put out an offer on Instagram that if you are not in Ohio or North Carolina, because I don't need the North Carolina one anymore, if you are in any other state or country, let me know and we will do a mug swap. I'll send you an Ohio one and you can send me one from where you're at. So she sent me some tea, because of course when you get a giant mug, you get tea. She sent me French vanilla chai, which I have been digging the chai like crazy lately. I think it's my new favorite type of tea, and I love French vanilla. Like, I was out of French vanilla creamer for my coffee today, and I was not happy. And then chocolate coconut, which sounds delicious. I'm gonna have to try that out. It's very tropical. It'll be nice on those cold winter days when you're like craving the beach. You guys, I'm almost positive she handmade this. Look. Do you know what this is? it's a tissue holder. So you take your little tissue out and blow your nose. You guys, this is so adorable and so thoughtful. Thank you so much, Linda. Honestly, I was just expecting the mug. So to get the tea and then this, I was like, oh my gosh. Not only that, but she used fabric from East Carolina University, which is super cool because the whole idea of collecting these mugs is to get stuff from places I've never been, or, you know, places places my friends live. So I think it's a fantastic idea. It's a way to connect with people from across the states or the world, which you wouldn't normally be able to do. So I love knitters. Knitters are the best. So I'm going to set this tissue off to the side to use later, because I'm sure I'm going to need it because my nose has been running. So, and then the mug. Oh my God. I love these mugs so much. Starbucks is ingenious for doing this. So, they have like the lighthouse from the coast. They have their state bird. They have some like trees and flowers that represent their hometown. Of course, they've got this, which Linda, I don't know if you live in North Carolina or Ohio, I'm sure you know the long-standing debate over who is the birthplace of flight. Ohio says that we are because the Wright brothers are from Dayton. We actually have museums like right down the street from where I live, dedicated to their old bicycle shop and their old house, and we have a whole, we have Caroline Park, which is like a dedication to them. So we are big Wright brothers people. In fact, I went to Wright State University, so which Wright comes from the Wright brothers. We have Wright Pat Air Force Base. Wright Pat comes from the Wright brothers. So I know exactly what the symbol means in North Carolina because North Carolina says they're the birthplace of flight because that's where the Wright brothers took their glider plane to go fly it for the first time, and they had the first successful flight in North Carolina. I would argue that that technically Ohio is not the birthplace of flight because we're the birthplace of the Wright brothers, but they didn't fly until they went to North Carolina. I don't know. There's a debate. We choose not to talk about it because we'll get into arguments with the North Carolinians. I don't know if that's a word, but anyway. So I love this little house, but my favorite part of this mug, look at that pig. Oh my God. He is so, I've already named him. His name is Wilbur. So everybody say, hi, Wilbur. Oh, and you can't see. I didn't mention, okay, before I take this down, do you guys see Henry? I named him Henry because I was thinking of making a Henry anyway, and somebody suggested Henry in the comments. So this is Henry and Helga, and they are best friends. Oh my God, I love Henry. Thank you so much, Krista. I look at him every day. I come upstairs and I look at him next to Helga, and I'm like, they are just a happy little couple. I love them so much. So anyway, I panned the camera too far. Do you see my mess over here? That's the hidden area. I need to put that stuff away. It's ridiculous. So anyway, thank you so much, Linda. I love the mug. I love the sky blue on the inside too. I'm pretty sure the Ohio one is red. I can't remember. But, so thank you. So I've already had offers from, I believe, Oklahoma, Virginia, or maybe it was West Virginia. I think it was Virginia. And New Orleans. Talked on my last podcast about how I'm obsessed with New Orleans. Somebody from New Orleans. I think we're going to do a swap. So, if you do not live in North Carolina, Ohio, Virginia, or Oklahoma, or New Orleans, and you want to do a swap, let me know. And I said state or country, but I know that Starbucks doesn't always make the We Are Here collection for states or countries. Sometimes they do it for specific cities or landmarks. So for example, New Orleans, they don't have a Louisiana one, but they do have a New Orleans one. So if you have something like that, then I would be more than happy to do a swap with you as well. I did want to mention, if you are in the Seattle area, my husband is a huge Seattle Seahawks fan. I would trade not only the Ohio mug, but I would also send a skein of yarn of your choosing from either my D-Stash or my shop to trade for 2 mugs from Starbucks for Seattle. The first thing he said when I got this, and I said, oh my gosh, it's a Starbucks mug from the We Are Here collection. I'm so excited. My friend Linda sent it to me. He said, is it from Washington? And I said, no. He said that I don't care. He's a poop head. Don't listen to him, Linda. But if you are from, that gave me an idea that if somebody from Seattle, Washington is willing to trade for a mug, I would appreciate 2 of them. And I will send extra goodies in return and do like a trade, because I would love to have one for myself and one for hubby, because he would go crazy for that. So that would be nice to be able to surprise him. Be like, hey honey, something came from you today from one of my knitty friends. He'd be like, what? So anyway, just putting it out there. I think I knew one person that lived in Seattle, but she moved to Germany, so I would ask her to do it, which I need to talk to you, because I would like one from Germany too. And also, we can work out shipping too. If shipping's too expensive for you, contact me and we can work something out, because I would really love to have the mugs regardless of the shipping differences. So let me know. So my next acquisition, so I talked to you last week about ordering Knit Picks, some sweater quantities worth of yarn from Knit Picks. I've been really good, guys. I haven't ordered anything else. Oh my God. I left the most important thing downstairs. I am an awful friend and an awful podcaster. I will go get it. So I ordered this quite a while ago. So first off, Lolo did it. This is a spoiler. If you have ordered her Hurricane Harvey colorway, she did to raise money for Hurricane Harvey, and you have not received it and you don't want to see what it looks like, turn away now. But here it is. I didn't read the description. Levi said, I ordered my first Lolo yarn. I was like so excited. What did you order? He's like, oh, well, of course I got the Hurricane Harvey colorway. And I was like, yeah, I really want to do that because I want to support Hurricane Harvey, but at the same time I was trying to be so good. And in the end I said, you know what, forget it. It's for charity. I'm going to do it. So I did. And I'm glad I did, because I didn't realize that she was going to surprise everybody and make it a hippo colorway. It's called Helping Hippos, and you guys know that I'm collecting the hippo colorways, so if I would have missed out on this, I would have been severely disappointed. So thank you for the enabling, Levi. So this is called Helping Hippos, and it is like a rainbow. It's like a hippo rainbow. You guys, this is... It's more saturated. So I talked about her Halloween color being more saturated. This one's the same way, and I love it. I wish all of her hippo colorways were this saturated, because I am a huge for the pops of color. I would almost rather have the pops of color than speckles. That's just the way I am. She's got pink and neon green and neon yellow and orange and teal and purple and everything. It's gorgeous and I love it. And I didn't know, obviously I didn't know what that was going to look like because it was a mystery colorway. But I had ordered this to go with my De Dia Los Muertos colorway. Oh my god, that's so blown out. It is not that glowy in real life. It's just called Material Girl. I use this in my, you can see it right here actually, in the bottom of this shawl. I used it in my Genesis wrap, but I needed some for my heels, cuffs, and toes of that. It would actually go with this too. But I think I'm going to order, I think I'm going to find the orange and do an orange heel for this one. I think so. I also ordered one of her hippo tape measures. Love them. Every time I order from her, I just throw one in because they're like $1.50 or $2, and I love them so much. And she sent this tape measure, and it says, thank you for helping people affected by Hurricane Harvey. Lolo did it. Love the Lolo family. And I just want to say, her and her husband I don't know. I think she has a few helpers in her shop, but I think they do most of the work. And I want to say that the turnaround time on this, for her to think of doing this, she had to think of doing this right away when she thought of doing this, because it takes time to get stuff like this printed and made and shipped. So the thought process that she had for this and the planning that went in, oh my god, look at that, it's so pretty. She's a fantastic lady. I love her so much. I love her yarn. If it's not obvious from, I normally have like a skein of Lolo Dida on every podcast. I have a sweater made out of her yarn. They don't match, but I don't care. I love it. So if you haven't checked out Lauren's yarn, it is well worth every penny. It's such a good price for what you get, and she impresses me so much. So there's my rant on that. So let's get to the Knit Picks train. So I mentioned last week that I ordered 5 sweater quantities worth of yarn. And I picked out patterns for all 3, and I plan on knitting all 5. But I had mentioned on my Instagram live video a couple of the sweaters I was planning on doing, and one of them is the honeycomb sweater, and it's in the newest Knit Picks magazine on the 2nd page. The 1st page is the Encircled magazine, the sweaters from that magazine, which I fell in love with when I ordered 4 sweater quantities of worth. For those, I showed 2 last week, one of which you saw in my whip section. And this I ordered for the honeycomb sweater. So the honeycomb sweater, this is just all the same yarn for that. But again, it's Wool of the Andes, Marble Heather, worsted. And it's a very pretty, simple cabled pattern. And I decided I would love to have it in a dark gray. So that originally was going to be so I'm going to do a Christmas sweater. I'll talk about this in a future episode, but because we haven't ironed out the details. But Brooke Knits and I are going to be co-hosting a Christmas sweater knit along, where I'm hoping to start October 1st. I'll get the details from her, and I will make sure to post it in Ravelry and on Instagram as soon as possible so that you guys know. But I'm hoping that the cast on date will be October 1st through December 31st. I'll say a couple days after Christmas. And the idea is to knit a Christmas sweater for yourself. And it doesn't have to be Christmas themed. It's just a sweater for you to wear on Christmas, or I would say New Year's Day. So it's a holiday sweater. So I was going to do this one, but after the fiasco with the color work on that one, I might do a different one. I haven't decided yet because I really want to be able to finish this, but I also have a lot of other things I want to do, so I might do just a basic knit sweater. So I ordered yarn. I ordered some cable needles. So I've always used this type of cable needle. If you can't tell, I was trying to get to $50, so I was adding random stuff. And I always lose cable needles, so I figured I'd order a couple because they're only a couple bucks. I ordered the Knitter's GPS, which I showed on Instagram Live, and I used on my Bubbles pullover. I never mentioned the pattern of the sweater I'm knitting. The sweater that I'm knitting that I showed in my whip section is called the Bubbles pullover, and it's from the Encircled book on Knit Picks, which is 40% off right now. So go get the book because it's a really good price. Anyway, back to reality, Melissa. So I ordered the I think it's actually called Stitcher's GPS, not Knitter's GPS. And I think Laura and Alicia on Knit for Brains originally showed it, and I found it on Knit Picks' website. Just so I was looking for some different notions to add to get me up over $50 so I could get free shipping. And I added that, and that was the most helpful thing while knitting that sweater. I will bring it out next time I start a sweater and show you, because I've pretty much finished with it because I finished the chart. But next time I knit a charted sweater, I will show you why it is so useful. However, I ordered some cable needles, and I normally use this, either this kind or a straight needle, and I saw these. And they said this is for the beginner knitter that's knitting cables. And I'm wondering, because I've always struggled with this one. I find the straight ones easier, or like a DPN, easier than this. So I was curious to see how this would work out. So I went ahead and threw it in the cart. It was like an extra $1. So I will be trying that out when I knit this sweater. So that was the second huge box of Knit Picks stuff that I got in the mail last week. Because the first one was the Bubbles pullover, and then another sweater from that, this is so ridiculous. So ridiculous, guys. From the Encircled magazine. So I mentioned I ordered yarn for 2 more of the sweaters from the Encircled magazine. And I can't remember which one's which, so I'm not going to say. But I will show you the yarn. This is going to be one sweater. So it's Mineral Heather, Brass Heather. This one is Persimmon Heather, Fjord Heather, or just Fjord. Yeah, Fjord Heather and white. Which these two I don't think I needed to order because I have a lot left over from my Bubbles pullover, but I didn't realize it at the time. So whatever. I can use it for contrasting heels. No, I can't because it's worsted, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So, what is wrong with me, guys? So this one is the one I was thinking about knitting. Oh, and here's some more yarn for that sweater. This is the one I was thinking about knitting for the Christmas knit along. But it's another black sweater. So it's black with pink colorwork at the top. And Levi was saying that the colors I chose for the Bubbles pullover were unexpected. He said it's not something he would have thought I would have chosen. This definitely is, right, Levi? So as you can tell, so we have, this is a Knit Picks palette, and we have the black, we have Mist, Cosmopolitan, Lady Slipper, and Fuchsia. And yeah, 2 Fuchsia, Cosmopolitan, Lady Slipper, Mist, and black. So I think that might be my Christmas one, but it's black, so maybe not, because I'm gonna have my black Bubbles pullover, so I really should knit something with a different color. But then again, obviously I didn't think this out, guys, because the yarn for my I'm getting them all mixed up now. My honeycomb sweater is almost the same color as this, which both are dark gray. This one has a hint of purple in it. So apparently all the sweaters I'm going to knit are going to be black or dark gray. Except the one I showed last week is actually white, which is kind of, what was I thinking? Because I can't eat a bite of food without spilling stuff on myself. So I'm not sure what exactly I was thinking by ordering a white sweater. Anyway, I was really good, guys, this week. Because all of this stuff that you've seen was ordered last week or before. This week, I don't think I've ordered anything. I've ordered I ordered another sweater quantity worth of yarn. But it's not for myself. It's for my husband. This is a funny story, guys. So I was talking to Levi on FaceTime the other day, and I was telling him that my husband really wants me to knit him a sweater, and he promises he'll wear it, which I don't know if he will or not, but I like knitting things, so I might as well knit him a sweater, whatever. I'm over the knitworthy thing because I just want to knit things, and I'm starting to have too many knits for myself, so that's not possible, is it? Anyway, back on track. I was talking to Levi, and my husband was supposed to be downstairs working. I keep getting distracted by this pink and orange combination right here. Anyway, my husband was supposed to be downstairs working with his headphones on. I didn't realize it was lunchtime. And so I had my camera set up on my tripod. I was talking to Levi on FaceTime, and I was like, I gotta lean in and I've gotta whisper because I don't want Jason to hear what I'm about to tell you. And I continued to say that Jason is going to Washington, D.C. for 3 days, which now that's up in the air, but he's going to Washington, D.C. for 3 days for a work trip in like a week and a half or 2 weeks. And I said, how great would it be if I measured him before I left and said, oh, I'm just measuring to see if, to find a sweater pattern or to find some yarn for a sweater pattern. Because he knew I was going to make one, he just didn't know when. And then while he was gone, knit him an entire sweater so that when he came back, he had an entire sweater. So I was like, I really want to surprise him. And I was like, I'm going to do a flax and I'm going to get this color and I'm going to do this modification. And I was telling Levi all this stuff and I was doing it in kind of a low voice and really close to the camera like this. And then all of a sudden, Jason pops out from around the corner. He was listening the entire time. Surprise ruined. But I'm still going to do it. Except for the only difference is I got his input on the yarn. So he actually did choose the color, which probably is better in the end anyway, because it was not what I was going to choose. But lo and behold, it's another gray sweater. So if I do get as much knitting done as I think I'm going to get done, or as I want to get done, then you guys are going to be seeing a lot of black and gray, so I apologize. But anyway, I hear the mailman. I have acquisitions coming. I think the yarn for Jason's sweater actually might be here. So I'll be able to show that to you guys hopefully. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to go get my last acquisition plus whatever came in the mail today, and I will be right back. You guys. So Jason's sweater quantity just came for me to make him a flax sweater. I'm going to push the laundry basket out of the way. And actually angle the camera this way so you don't see all the mess. So, Jason's yarn just came for his flax sweater. And I did not even think about this or realize it. Because he just said, I want this one. So I said 14 or 16 balls, check out. This is his box of yarn for his sweater. Does it look familiar? Because I promise that this is not the box I showed you a minute ago with the yarn for my sweater. They're both marble heather. So I literally have like 30 or 40 skeins of marble heather. They're both Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted. So apparently Jason and I are going to have matching sweaters, which was not planned. Crap. He's not going to like that. I am like, ugh, whatever. So I have one more acquisition to show you guys. I'm so glad I got to show that on the podcast. So I couldn't help myself. Levi, I mentioned this last week, had his shop update. And I love his bags. And I love his bags so much. Like beyond, I love them. I need them in all the fabrics, all the sizes. I want them all. And I was trying really hard not to buy one because I already have, I have the sock sack that he gave me. I have the original pink bee bag that he made for me. And I have the other bee bag that he gave me as a giveaway, which I'm selfishly keeping for myself. So I have 2 of his large bags and a sock sack bag. But I really couldn't help myself because after an hour of his shop being open, this was still sitting in there. It had to come home. It had to come home. This was meant to be with me. You guys. Oh my God, look at that. Okay. I do want to mention, I want to say I won this fair and square. I purchased this fair and square. There were some comments They were all in jest. So there were some comments about, oh, that's where all the bags went for the shop update to Melissa's house. There was no wheeling and dealing. We did not trade. He did not give me anything other than the sock sack prototype bag, which he wasn't selling anyway. The other 2 bags he gave me prior to deciding to open up a shop. So this bag I purchased at full price. So it was there for an hour, so you guys had plenty of time. I warned you on my Instagram page that if you didn't go buy it when it came out, that it was coming home with me, and so it did. He actually had this and the New York City one still available, and I thought about buying them both, and Jason said no. He said, you can have one, and I said, okay. So I wish I would have brought both, though, but I think Elizabeth got the other one, so that's okay. So guys, look at the stitching, look at the family portrait. His bags are amazing. I've talked about them before. This one does not have a handle, which I don't notice, doesn't bother me. I just love it just as much. And I've raved over his bags, and I will not do so today, only for the fact that I think I've already said everything that can be said, and it's not fair for those of you that can't get these because he is sold out right now. However, I will keep you posted on my Instagram page. Go follow him on Instagram. Go watch his YouTube videos. Watch my videos. Look at my Instagram page, because anytime he posts about his shop, I will make sure to share with you guys. And I will let you know when he has another shop update, because I do not believe that this is going to be his last. So if you haven't got one, there's still a chance. But these are fantastic bags. And he sent along, I just had it. What did I do with it? There it is. So I think he sent this along with every package. So first of all, he wrote this lovely note. Did I show this on last week's podcast? I'm thinking I might have now. If I did, sorry, you guys get to see it again. If I didn't, well, then here it is. So he sends this beautiful handmade thank you note attached to the bag. Oops, I dropped it. So, and it's just very personal and special, so I'm not going to read it, but it is very personal to me. And then also, he sent me some tea, because I love tea, and he sent me Awake English breakfast, which is perfect because I have a napping problem, so I need to drink that when I'm tired. And then sweet cinnamon spice. And he also sent some of these little eyeball progress keepers. Or eyeball. What are they called? Not eyeball. Light bulb progress keepers, which I love. I use these on my Cozy Memories blanket, actually. And these are fantastic for drop stitches. If you have a drop stitch, pop one of these on the drop stitch and it'll hold it until you can get to it to fix it. And then as a surprise, he sent me a set of minis of all the yarns of all the dyers yarns that he collaborated with for the kits. So 3 of these are mine. So this is What Killer Bee. This is Victorian Queen Bee. This is Squirrel. And then these 2 are from Mitchell's Creations. And this one is Moonflower, which I have to get a full scan of this. And this one, sorry about the barking, my husband's home. This one is Garden Blossom. And then this one is Arkansas Yarn Company, and it is the Knock It Off Miss Wilma colorway. So he took the time to label them all. It has all their fiber contents, and also to put like an extra tag on here, a thank you tag. So Levi, you did a great job. This package was fantastic. So that is it for acquisitions, guys. And my husband's home, so he's probably listening to me now. But I showed him the 2 sweaters quantity worth of yarn. Come here. One of my kitties wants to say hi. And say hi. This is my shy one. He's the one that always runs when new people come in. Cow kiss? Cow kiss? Thank you. I love you. You want down? Oh, don't knock the camera. Anyway, so hubby's home now, and I showed him the sweaters yarn, and he said, oh, that's kind of cool. So apparently he's okay with us having the same color as long as the sweaters aren't exactly the same, which it's really interesting that this happened, because I was watching Marsha from Very Little this week, and she did the same thing. So well, different. She knit a sweater. She designed a sweater, and the first one she knit for her husband, and the second one she knit for herself. Her husband walked in and saw the sweater when it was blocking, and he said, did you make us matching sweaters? So he was not happy about it, but my hubby doesn't seem to care, so that's a good thing. But anyway, so okay, so I'm going to get a little bit serious now. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but so there was a comment on one of my videos last week that really bothered me. And at first it really bothered me. And then after talking to my husband and a few other podcasters, I realized that it really wasn't that big of a deal. And I also realized that there are a lot of podcasters that get these type of comments. It's not just me. So it's funny that it's kind of happening to everybody at the same time. Everybody, I don't know if it's just that we're all addressing it at the same time, because it has happened, but for me, it was the first time I've ever experienced something negative about my podcast. So Levi mentioned in his most recent podcast that he got a negative comment, which was really uncalled for, very rude and inconsiderate. So he had talked about it a little bit on his podcast. And then I was watching Amber of Yarn Hoarder, and she was talking about how she got a new sock machine and that she had some really negative comments on Instagram, which I don't understand. And then I was watching Grocery Girls this morning, and they talked about the negative comments that Amber from Yarn Hoarder got, and Tracy was fired up about it. She was pissed off. And I wasn't going to say anything on my podcast, but I kind of feel like since everybody else is putting it out there, I will too. The good people in this community far outweigh the negative. However, the thing is that if you have something negative to say, you can say it in a constructive way. There is no need to bash somebody's character or looks or decisions. Keep that shit to yourself. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody cares. So, I feel like the type of people that put those comments out there in the world are probably really unhappy with themselves, and that's why they do it. I will say that there's been things in podcasts or otherwise that I don't agree with, but I don't leave a comment about it. I just move on. Either I don't watch, or I skip forward past that part, or I just listen and I'm like, yeah, I'm on a different wavelength. I don't acknowledge it. And I feel like the people that do acknowledge some of the negative thoughts that they have by putting them out there into cyberspace are the type of people that are unhappy with themselves. They're probably in a really bad place in their lives, and they just need to vent. And they may be taking it out on us as podcasters over the internet because it's easy to say something negative about somebody when you're not face to face with them. In my particular situation, somebody was very unhappy with the cup I showed last week. They said it was foul and that I was unladylike because I showed it. I don't know necessarily that it was because I showed the cup on the podcast, or if it was having the cup itself. My thing is, it was a gift from Levi. It's a novelty item. It's right up my alley. That I love joke items like that. And I I felt like I was really respectful of people who don't appreciate those kind of things, those kind of items or joke items. I warned ahead of time about the content that was on the cup. I never quoted the cup. And so I feel like I did my part as a podcaster to ensure that if there were young ones in the room or people that may be offended by the language on the cup, that they had every opportunity to turn off the video or fast forward the video or walk out of the room. If you don't like the things that I show on the podcast, I don't want to be rude, but there are a ton of other podcasts out there that you may enjoy. Not everybody is going to like my podcast, and I know that. And I'm not going to like I don't like every podcast that's out there. So I completely understand. I would appreciate constructive criticism if you would like me to fix my lighting, for example. If you have a problem with my lighting, please let me know, because until I get complaints about it, I probably won't do anything about it, just because it's expensive to buy the fancy lighting, and I won't be able to convince my husband if nobody's complaining about it. So if you have a problem with my lighting, if you don't like the way maybe I don't show things up close enough, or maybe I don't hold them up to the camera long enough, maybe I talk too fast, maybe I'm not loud enough, which I have my voice back, so that problem should be fixed now. If you have constructive criticism about the podcast, I would love to hear it. If you are going to judge my character, and do it in a public forum, keep it to yourself. I don't care, and I don't want to hear it. So I try to be as positive as possible, while still being me and still sharing my life experiences and my knitting with you guys. I love sitting down and chat with you guys, but I want this to remain a positive experience. And also, something that tends to happen when somebody leaves a negative comment on a social media site, other people, not only the person that the comment is intended to go towards, but other people tend to defend that person. So for example, if somebody left a negative comment about me and other people really enjoy my podcast, they may feel defensive against the other person and defend me against the other person in a public forum, which could tend to cause a bullying situation where many people are ganging up on the one person that left the negative comment in the first place, to defend either myself or whoever that comment was intended towards. And I know that personally on my podcast, on my Instagram, I want to avoid that. And as I gain additional viewers, because I know that I have gotten a ton of new viewers in the past several weeks, as I gain new viewers, I don't want it to become a situation where I start getting more and more negative comments, and I definitely don't want it to become a bullying situation. So if you do see a negative comment, please refrain from responding. I will more than likely either respond to the comment if I feel that it's needed, or delete the comment altogether. So I just don't want you guys to lower your standards because you're angry at something someone said to me. So that's probably the first and only time I will address that, and I'm only doing it because other people have done so this week, and I felt that since I had experienced that recently, actually it was my last week's podcast, that I would put that out there. So again, my intention is not to offend anybody. I hope I did not make anybody angry by my message, but if I did, then more than likely you're the type of person that would leave those comments in the first place. So, that's that. That's all I have to say about that. So on a more positive note, week in review. I feel like I haven't gotten any knitting done this past week, but I really have. I've gotten half of a sweater knit. I've gotten my Desert Vista Dye Works socks finished. I've got my ends woven in and my project block for my Doodler shawl. So I've been pretty productive. I've done a ton of work on my Cozy Memories blanket. So tonight I hope to spend more time on my Cozy Memories blanket while I'm editing the podcast. And hopefully either tonight or tomorrow I can get back to work on my sweater. I'm going to renege that comment. Hopefully after I get caught up on my Cozy Memories blanket, I have time for my sweater, because tonight Stephen West has a Speckle Pop knit along that is coming out, and I'm super excited. I'm not going to show my yarn. I've showed it in the past, but I've actually changed my yarn choices. I'm going to wait to show you my yarn choices until next week. So that starts probably at midnight, 1 a.m. tonight. So tomorrow, that's what I will be knitting on. So I plan to work on that this weekend. I want to work on my sweater. I want to finish my What the Fade because the last clues have come out. Oh, and I'm going to be dyeing yarn, and I think a friend is coming over on Saturday. Last time I did a big batch of yarn, she came over and knit and just kind of kept me company while I was dyeing the yarn, and it was a lot of fun. We had some dinner, and you know, my husband cleaned his guns, and we ate dinner while I was dyeing yarn and talking to my friend Krista. Hi, Krista. And we ate some pizza, and then knit a little bit. I helped her with her, because she was doing a fishlets conceal for the first time, so I helped her with that. She is expecting a new little one in her life, so she is currently working on a baby blanket, so I'm really hoping that she's able to make it on Saturday, because she can hang out with me while I dye yarn. She helps me too, like, so my niece hasn't been to my house in a few weeks, and she has helped me to, I think the mailman just came around again. I might have to go look to see if I have another package. But anyway, so she helped me to, like, get the yarn soaking, because the starting process is very time consuming. You have to soak the yarn in citric acid, for at least an hour before it goes in, before you put the dye on and get it into the oven. And what I tend to do is tie up all my skeins of yarn that I'm going to dye that day, and then put them all in a soak bath, because soaking them too long isn't going to hurt them. So I put them all in their citric acid baths, and then after they've been in there for at least an hour, I will start the first 2 batches. So I normally have probably 10 batches soaking at a time. And each batch I have about 3 skeins in. 10 to 12, depending on how much yarn I need to dye that week. So she was helping me to fill the pans and get the yarn in them, so that we can get the soaking process started sooner, so that I could get dyeing faster. So that was fun. But anyway, I'm really excited about that, and I think that's all. We don't really have plans this weekend, which I'm hoping, other than dyeing yarn. So I'm hoping it stays that way, because the last couple weekends have been pretty hectic. So yeah, I think that's all I have, guys. If I think of something else, I'll see you later. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'll be doing some live videos. I've had a blast doing those recently, so I'm really excited to share that with you. Other than that, I will let you guys go. Have a fantastic week. Oh, podcast. I want to talk about the podcast I've been watching. So I talked about Yarn Hoarder and Grocery Girls and Fairy Little, and I've been watching many, many more. I'm caught up on everything. I've watched Die Another Day with Cozy Knitter and Yarn Enabler. I got caught up with them. I'm caught up on all the podcasts that I watch, so I started a new one. And I have been subscribed to her forever. I follow her on Instagram. She is the cutest. She's so pretty. She's so pretty. She is a lovely, lovely person. And she has the most fantastic projects. And I finally started watching her podcast, and I am addicted. I am talking about Meg from Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits. She is fantastic. She's funny. I don't want to say the wrong word. She's not ditzy. She's very smart, but she can laugh at herself, which I really enjoy that. You know, being able to not make fun of yourself, but be able to laugh at mistakes that you've made or whatever is a great personality trait to have. And she has some of the prettiest projects. So as you know, when I watch podcasts, I start from the very first one and I work my way to the most current. So I think she has like 50 some episodes, maybe 60. So I am on episode 6 and I just started 2 nights ago. So I hope after I get the podcast edited, I was hoping to watch more of her today, but by the time I edit the podcast, it'll probably be time for my Skype knitting night with Levi and Allie. So we'll see. All right, guys, that's all I've got. If you haven't checked out Meg, go check out her podcast now because it's fantastic. I will see you guys next week and have a great week. Bye. Hi guys. Okay, so video number 1. Just a heads up. I originally was going to be doing these updates on Instagram stories, but the problem with that is that I don't get to keep those videos, and I really wanted to do this kind of vlog style, so I'm going to be recording the videos and then posting them to my Instagram account. So the official start time was 10:30 and we are at 11:40, so a little over an hour. And I have just finished doing the short row shaping. It's gonna be really difficult to see. I'll get my tripod out for the next update so I can stretch it out and show you. So I finished the short row shaping in the back, and I am actually ready to start the colorwork chart. And the colorwork chart is 49 rows. So I will be working that for the next 49 rows. So more than likely that'll take me a few hours. So the color work will be what you guys are seeing in the next update. So you'll definitely be able to tell that I've made some progress. So it's a good start. I'm almost done with the most recent episode of The Girls in the Erin Cafe. And yeah, everything's going well. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi guys, here's video number 2. We're well within hour number 2, and this is what I have. It looks different than last time, doesn't it? That's because I had a frog. I was knitting the wrong size. Sorry about the lighting. I had to turn my lamp back on, so there's a lot of glare, but I'll make this quick. So it turns out I was knitting 2 sizes up instead of 1 size up, and I didn't realize it until I got to the color work section. So I ripped out, which is fine because I wanted to do my provisional cast on in a contrasting color anyway, because I was having a hard time, obviously, with the black yarn, figuring out what was the provisional cast on versus the actual knitting. So I am now to the point where I have just done my first row set of increases, and I'm about to start my short row shaping. So I will see you guys in another hour. Bye. You guys, I just watched Levi's live video on Instagram and he is hilarious. Guys, go check out the replay because it was so funny and so much fun. So quick update, this is hour number 3 and I am officially back to the color work section of the sweater. There's no color work yet. I have just started the chart. I'm on row 3 and the color work starts at row 7. So stay tuned. See you in an hour. Bye. Hi guys, this is update number 4 and it covers 2 hours, hours 4 and 5. And this is what I have done. So I'm on the second color of the colorwork chart. I'm on row 15 of 49, so not very far into it. And I just finished my first ball of the black yarn, which is kind of a problem considering I only have 24 hours and I have 12 of the black balls to get through. So we'll see if this actually happens. This color work is taking me forever. So that's what I've got. And that's it. I'll see you guys in another hour or 2. Bye. Hey guys, this is our 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 7. So 6 and 7, I think. I have another color done in the color work section. Yay, I'm excited. I really like how it's turning out, but I feel like I'm really far behind, and I don't know if this is going to get done in 24 hours. I'm trying my hardest. Hopefully, once I get through this chart, things go a lot quicker. Of course, although this is hour 6, I've only been knitting on it for 4 hours because the first 2 hours of work were ripped out and restarted. And I am on row 26 of 49 in the chart, so I'm more than halfway. All right, I will talk to you guys in another couple hours. Bye. Hey guys, it is 12:56, so almost 1 o'clock in the morning, which means I've been knitting for about 13 hours. 14, 15? Let's see, 10:30. Hey guys, it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and I have been knitting for 14 and a half hours. I am super tired. My husband's on his way home, so I'm hoping that that will help. I've got some mac and cheese that I just heated up from yesterday because I'm getting hungry. And here's what I have done. So I showed this on my Instagram live videos. I did finally finish the color work about an hour and a half ago. So now I'm just working around. Right now I have 420 stitches on my needles. Once I get to 10 inches, which I have a little under an inch to go, I will split for the sleeves, and at that point I'll be working the body for a while, and I will only have 280 stitches on my needle. Ain't that good? You like the cuddles? He's a good boy. Yeah. Hey guys, a lot of you are asking for updates. Sorry for the lack of updates. Today is football day, so I've been trying not to disturb hubby's games, and there may have been a nap involved. So anyway, I'm still working on it. It's slow going. I just tried it on, and it's about 2 inches past my bust. So I have a really long way to go because I prefer a longer sweater. So anyway, just thought I'd let you guys know how it's going. See you later. Bye.